Uh, President Trump, I think that your instincts are correct. I think you should follow your gut, that this is a game changer. And history will judge this moment in time who looked out for the welfare of humanity and who resisted what's good for humanity for less than divine reasons. And let's just discuss those reasons. Number one, it's a political issue. This is an election year. The president is running for re-election. A large majority of this country does not want him re-elected. It's a democracy, fine. He came out in favor of a drug. I'm not sure what was the information presented to him, but he made a statement. And by the way, these are all statements of fact. I'm not putting any of my own political views into the equation. I'm just saying that the president did make a statement that he has a good feeling about this drug. What that means, that if this drug actually turns out to be part of the solution, that's a political win for the president, and good for him. Because he brought this issue to the forefront. He spread awareness of this drug and helped the country and the world overcome this terrible enemy. So obviously the opponents of the president, it's very logical, don't want to give him this political win. Unfortunately, the consequences of that, see, this virus is not a Democratic problem or a Republican problem. This virus doesn't discriminate. It kills everyone equally. So I think that any political games that are being played with life-saving medication is the epitome of evil. Now, second problem, doctors are afraid to prescribe this medication. There is a fear of retribution and potential lawsuits and so on. And that's an issue that needs to be addressed. Because really, doctors have to think about what's better for the patient more than what's even beyond their own self-interest. Especially in a time of war like this, I think the government needs to come out and indemnify doctors, saying, you do the best you can, we'll use the best resources we can, and hopefully it will work. And if there's an unfortunate outcome here or there, God forbid, you will not be held responsible. We are on the front, you know, and unfortunately, in every single war in history, there's been, unfortunately, casualties. I hope it doesn't happen, but we have to make decisions of what's greater for the greater good, so to speak. The more people, we need to save as many people as possible. And the third problem is ego. There are many physicians that cannot tolerate or swallow the fact that someone else thought of a solution and not them. And my answer to that is, take the credit. I don't need it. It's your win. Just treat the people. So ultimately, it's a situation of what is moral, what is morality, what is the right thing to do, what's common sense, and the priority needs to be focused on saving human life above everything else. And any of those issues, factors that I described, let's get to the point. The president should make an executive order that allows for every physician in this country to have access and use of these medications, that overrides any state restrictions. I don't know the laws, I don't know if it's possible, but if it is possible, the federal government should empower the physicians in this country who are on the front lines to use these medications. And it has to be made clear, every single pharmacy in this country, that they are to follow doctor's orders and dispense the medications without any fear of retribution. What I found, at least in New York, that even though the FDA approved the drug, and even though the president and the vice president made statements that every American who needs or wants this drug will have access to it, at least in New York, since there was an executive order by Governor Cuomo, which limits or creates restrictions for pharmacies to dispense these medications. The pharmacies are more afraid of the state, which licenses them, than the federal government. And they're choosing not to dispense these medications because of fear.